Hello everyone, welcome to your Transmute Yourself weekly live show where we talk about topics related to fear of commitment so that you can create your own fulfilling relationship. My name is Javier Peñalba and thank you for those who are joining in right now. Today we're going to talk about the 3 types of commitment-phobes. So basically these 3 types, they were investigated by different psychologists, one of whom is Stefanie Stahl. So the information that I'm going to share with you, I got it from the book Yes, No, Maybe, which I really recommend to anyone who has commitment phobia or knows someone that is dealing with this issue, with fear of commitment. Okay, so let's start with the first type. It's called the hunter. You might maybe recognize yourself in this or someone else. All right, let's talk about an example for the hunter. This is John and Lucy, right? So they met at a bar. Lucy found him super charming when they met, but she said it's not really my type, right? It's attractive, but not enough for me. So they still started going out together, and she noticed that he actually didn't get offended that easily when she rejected him. He seemed very, very confident, actually, and that started attracting her from him. At the same time, as she at the beginning didn't really feel that attracted to her, she could keep a distance. So she had some type of emotional control and management over the situation. And that seemed to keep him there and sort of interested. Well, they kept going out for a couple of weeks and then she gave in to him, right? She started falling a little bit more in love with him. What happened afterwards is that she started imagining herself with him, maybe having a family, having kids, and she started looking for him a lot more, like writing to him, calling him. It seemed like she wanted to, actually she thought they were in a relationship at that moment, but the more that she approached him, the more the scarcer that he became, the more unavailable that he seemed. So for example, he would disappear for more hours without responding, or even for days, going out with friends or doing things by himself, right? So she didn't really understand what was going on, and that drove her crazy. So she started sending messages to friends and telling them, like, really, I cannot understand what's going on, pasting whatever message he sent, confused, super confused, right? So one day Lucy told John, look, I don't know what's happening here. Please tell me, what are we? What is this relationship? Are we something? What's going on? And then he said, I don't have the energy to be in a relationship, but let's please keep it casual. I don't want to lose you, right? And of course that broke her heart because she was already imagining herself with him in a future. So what happened here, right? This is again the hunter. The hunter is the type of commitment phobe that falls in love with the process of chasing the partner and not with the partner herself. So this challenging part, that excitement, that uncertainty, that really feels like a challenge, where he thrives. I say he, but it can also be a she, right? It can be a male or a female. They are very secure people, and they seem to have this addiction to the excitement again, and whatever is against that, for example, the normalcy of a relationship, the stability, the quote-unquote boredom of doing the same things in a relationship, that just drives them nuts. That's boring, right? They don't want that. So once this relationship arrives into that stage in which there's already expectations and there's like schedules and things like that, and that doesn't work for them, and that's when they say, like, I'm not ready for a relationship, and they end up leaving. So this is the first part, right? That's the hunter. Let's talk now about the princess. What's the princess? Let's talk about Carlos and Stefanie. So Carlos and Stefanie, they met at a library. They fell in love with each other super fast, right? It was like love on first sight. And he got her number. They started dating and going out. It seemed like everything was super perfect. She liked about him, for example, that he was very calm, that he didn't really like to discuss too much, that he gave her space. But then as the feelings of infatuation in that stage started waning down after a couple of weeks, then she started just noticing whatever bothered her about him. So for example, those things that she used to like, for example, that he was so relaxed and that he didn't discuss too much with her, she started hating that about him. She started thinking, that's not very masculine. I want someone that really puts his boundaries, like sets them very clearly, and I want someone to make the relationship very exciting, and this is getting boring and things like that, right? So one day she just had it and she told him, this is not gonna work, sorry, next. So what happens here? This is again the princess. This type of commitment phobe, they tend to fall in love super quickly. They get very excited when they meet someone, and they forget about all of their past issues with commitment. They think that this is the right person. But however, they cannot tolerate weaknesses. They focus so much on whatever doesn't work that this makes their feelings go down very, very quickly. And on the other hand, they hate boredom. They hate stability and things to be the same and monotonous. So they want something that's super exciting, that changes all the time. They sometimes like to discuss and people to tell them what to do. It gets very confusing because they like something and then they start hating that, and they realize that all they want is to feel excitement all the time. So this is the princess. In as a summary, nobody is perfect for them. They always find flaws. And they complain a lot about why they cannot find that right person, that Mr. Right or that Mrs. Right. But they don't realize that it's their focus, their lens that is actually always focusing on what's not working. Okay, let's talk about the third type of commitment phobe. It's called the Stonewaller. Let's talk about Susie and Antonio. They have been dating, and actually they moved together for already 6 months. Antonio, he's a self-employed tax advisor, so he's autonomous, right? He has this freedom. While Susie, she is an administrator, and she can leave work at 5:30, and she's home very early. And she wants to spend time with him. She loves her work-life balance. She likes doing sports and things like that. But all in all, she wants this balance and to be also with him because she loves him. However, Antonio, as he has this autonomy, he always puts the excuse that he doesn't have time for anything because it's his job, it's his money, right? And he has to spend more time on the marketing side or on new projects with his company. Therefore, he doesn't have the time for her. The worst part, though, is that whenever he does have the time for her, he goes out with friends, or he goes out to the gym and spends hours there, or to do whatever else but to stay with her. And and to finish that, actually when he's home, he hides behind a newspaper or behind a book, and it's like he's not there, so he withdraws a lot. And of course this breaks her heart. However, once in a while he comes back, and he's super charming, he's super loving, and at this time Susie, she thinks that everything is back to normal, and she really holds on to those moments, and she thinks like everything will be like this always, nothing will happen like before, and if it does, I will know how to handle it and I will take it more easily. But it's not the case. When that happens again, because it's ups and downs, right? When he's again in a down situation, she simply doesn't know how to take it because she feels so lonely, and she feels like he doesn't love her anymore, right? So this is the Stonewaller. What are these characteristics? He decides when and up to what extent he can get close to the partner, and to what extent also he can distance himself. So he sets the distance, and he's ready to get close or far away as he needs or as he wants. For example, if he's in the need for closeness, okay, he can take a couple of hours of his time to get closer, but most of the time he just wants to be far. And why is this? Well, in general, Stonewallers, many times they actually get into a relationship, but they don't know how to handle their emotions as they are in one. And they don't know they don't understand commitment phobia in general, and don't know really what's going on with them. So the easiest thing is simply to withdraw, to be silent, and only to get close whenever they actually have a need, a physical need, or when they're feeling very extra relaxed. All right, so these are the 3 types of commitment phobes. All of the different types that I mentioned actually share different characteristics with each other, and they tend, a commitment phobe usually shifts within the same day between different profiles, but some people have more prominent, let's say, characteristics or traits from one profile than from another. In general, it's all pretty much the same, right? They don't like this feeling of stability. They don't like to feel controlled or to have expectations from the other side. They want things to be loose and very free, right? And we have discussed in many videos why this happens. But I hope that this has been able to help you to understand what types of commitment phobes there are out there, to see yourself maybe in one of them. And this can really be a very important first step to take to do something about it. Once you realize and find out, all right, this actually fits with how I have been in a relationship, or with how my partner has been. Cool, thank you everyone for being here. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to respond everything later there in the chat. Talk to you very soon. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe and to share this video. Thank you. See you soon.